Hi y'all, welcome back. Today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you how to cast on. And you cast on the same way, whether it's an Addi or a Sentro or whatever kind of circular knitting machine you have, okay? So this is the last needle in this machine. This is the last needle. So what I want to do is I normally do enough that I drop down so it touches the table, the surface. Wrap it around like this. Short end is down there. Long end is over here. First needle. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and get that in there. Make sure it's down in there. And we're going to go ahead and go behind the next needle and in front of the next needle. And as we're moving this, we're moving it slowly because we want to make sure that each needle is catching, that it's in the front, not the one behind. So the first one caught, the second one is behind, the next one caught, then we're behind again and in front. And behind again and in front. Behind and front, behind and front. And you just go slowly so that you make sure it's catching everywhere. Behind and front, 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 behind and front. And you're just going back and forth and making sure that it's catching on every other needle. Behind and front. And then the last needle, you always want to be behind. So I'm behind. If I happen to be, this one's in front, this one's behind. If I happen to be, this one's in front right now, like if it was its turn to go in front, then you've done something wrong. Do it again. So in front of, behind. Now once we go behind that needle, last needle, you want to make sure that you thread it in good where you're supposed to thread it at. Put it at whatever tension you're keeping it at. And then I always try to back needle or last needle on behind. I always tuck it in under that little hook. Make sure that this one's down there. And then our first row, you see each needle is catching the yarn. And so the first row, you want to go nice and slow. Make sure that everything's catching. And I'm doing this nice and slow so that you can actually see what's going on. And I have this marked here because when I see it, then I know the next one is my last needle. And so my last needle, I want to make sure it goes under. If I'm stopping here, which I am because this was just to show you, well, I'll go ahead and show you another little row. So we basically cast on, then we did a row, which we go nice and slow to make sure everything's catching. And then in the next row, you can go ahead and pick up your speed. And so I see my mark, so I know this is my last needle. I'm going to make sure my last needle catches. I'm not going to do any more, so I'm going to hold my yarn like this, make sure the last needle catches. Okay? So we've cast it on.